why we got value, equal and uniform. We can't have him at 60, him at 100, this one at 80, because then they're gonna have a right to come here and feel, hey,
Oh, it
he's at
wouldn't make
60.
sense either.
So that's a difficult job, you know, that's why he's here. And, so, we all got our opinions. I think it was listed on the open market. It was. That's what he's saying. Hey, anybody could have bought it. True. But, unfortunately in Texas, we gotta look at what the market tells us. That's what he bought it for. Was it a foreclosure? No, it was an REO, which is different from foreclosure. The bank was trying to cut its losses the best they could. They went out and get $212 out of this, I think, what he paid. And so, same with these others, which is best. So, but we have to value him the same as we value everybody else, based on the sales data of everything we've got since January of 2010. That's the sales that we got in the sub, and that's what we got to value.
And to further that a little bit, if they're comparable properties, obviously, if those that sold for $100 a square foot were much superior in quality than Mr. Linlaw's, then that's not a good comparison. So the sales that we try to present to come up with our value are similar. They're all Toyota Camrys. They're not, you know. So we don't try to judge a value of your Corolla with a Ford Focus. We try to find some other Corollas that are similar to yours that have sold recently. One sale doesn't make a market, for sure, and that's what makes it difficult for us also. Some people are maybe a better buyer than others, or some people may be a better seller, and so they get different prices, but we sort of try to get a range of price per square foot for similar type homes. And we throw them out there and hope they fit. That's kind of a follow-up to that. So maybe you're ready for the rebuttal or whatever.
Yeah, for Rick or whoever's representing Parker County Appraisal. Would you agree that the homes in Sugar Tree were built by a wide array of builders over a number of years?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. So that would create a lot more variance in pricing than if the same builder goes in and just raises the land and boom, 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 boom. They just put up the same size house, same type house, same make, same
Cadillac, yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot more variation in Sugar Tree than there is in most neighborhoods. And they were built at different times by different builders.
It's not
so it would be a lot more understandable for there to be variation in square footage in Sugar Tree.
Sure. And to answer that point, good point. Out of 91 homes in Sugar Tree, 91 homes, there's your sales at the top. That's every home in Sugar Tree right there. What this is a list of every home in Sugar Tree. And this is the appraised value. If you look on the back page, down at the bottom there, the average value of every home in Sugar Tree, the average value is $340,000. The average square foot is $31.28, and the average value is $108.73 a foot. That's of every home in Sugar Tree. Good, bad, different, what have you. There's different Toyota, Cadillacs, whatever in there. Okay, now below it there, and that's the average sale of the 7 that we've got, which includes his $60 a foot. So the sales up the top, which are 8 of them, is included in that average sale per square foot. So if you kick his out, it may be closer to the way we have it appraised. But this is every home in Sugar Tree, good, bad, and different. There's the age of them, the square footage of them, the way we've got it valued, and what they sold for.
You have his in here at 60 somewhere?
It's 84. You know, you got a heck of a deal.
Okay.
I mean,
I'm
for
not done my rebuttal,
for
but
the next 30 years, you're going to benefit from that.
I'll take a check right now for $320. I promise. Like that.
Put it on the market.
It was on the market less than a year. Well, less than a year from when this valuation was supposed to be. It had no interest for over 6 months. If, this is for everyone, if you had a 3,500 square foot house, would you want it to be a 3-story home?
I wouldn't, not necessarily right now, but I have a 3-story home.
Would you want it, but my point is, no one wants a 3-story home. It's a deal killer. You wanna know why that home sat there for so long? That's a big factor. No one said yes.
I'll say yes.
Okay.
I have a 3-story home and I love it,
You go up on that 3rd floor?
whenever I want to. And I go down on the bottom whenever I want to.
Well, it feels like I'm living on Stairmaster, to be honest. I think most people would not want a 3-story home. If all things being equal, they wouldn't want it. And I think that was not included in their valuation of my property.
Well, it's saying single story.
If you got a, yeah, I mean, I think most 3,500 square foot homes that I'm aware of, they're basically 2-story or they're 1-story and they got a decent sized second floor. I don't know what you want to call that. But, I really think that was part of the reason it sold the way it did. Another reason I think it sold the way it did is it's a 3-bedroom. Yes, it's 3,500 square feet. It is a 3-bedroom. There is no doors to close that magically create a 4th bedroom in this house. 0. It's a 3-bedroom house. You look at the square footage, but why don't you look at price per bedroom? I mean, you're just fixated on the square footage thing. And I know the people that are fixated on that, I've got no chance.
Functional obsolescence is what he's saying. The theory of 1 bedroom for a 3,000 square foot house will be functionally, or 1 bathroom in a 3,000 square foot house. So he's addressing some functionality because of 3-story and because of.
I'd be shocked if there are other 3-bedroom houses in Sugar Tree. I really would.
It should be more, like, more.
I think there's none.
Okay.
I think they're all 4 and 5.
That's beyond our.
Living area.
It shouldn't be. I'm trying to show you why the home went for what it did, and you're unwilling to listen to me. And you say it's beyond the scope, and it's not.
So do you want us to fairly single yours out and go below everybody else and just leave it that way?
I don't want to single out. I wanted an appraisal when I paid for it less than a year ago, when it was on the open
Which
market.
is not what it's probably valuable worth in today's market.
Today's market is the day I bought its market. Nothing's changed.
But all we have is to look at 2010 comps, and there are many of them.
You've got the sales price, and you've got reasons why the sales price was the way it was.
We go by that, we have to take everything into consideration.
You're considering theoretical things when the actual fact of the sales price is being ignored.
We're listening
That's
to
all
what
right.
we're saying too, we're listening to that, the
No.
story, we're listening to the 3-bedroom, we're taking all that into consideration, but we also have to go by facts. But we do listen to all of that.
One of the comps, comp number 4 on what I got, if you look, it's right up, if you take this picture up here on the overhead and you drag it down, it'll get it there.
Across the fairway?
Right there, yeah, if you get it so we're both in there. Okay, the house closest to those lakes, that is comp number 4, right there. That sold for $350,000, 3,100 square feet. It's one of those ones when you do the math, it works out to be 115 or whatever square foot. You would think it wouldn't help my case. I would disagree. That house was purchased 2 weeks before mine. The people that bought that house could have saved over $100,000 by buying my house. And they chose not to do that. Why would they not buy a house that's 2 doors down and save over $100,000? That is a real question I have for y'all.
But people buy
why don't
houses,
you
there's
ask
some,
all kinds of
maybe they have
reasons.
some lakes.
There's all kinds of reasons.
Okay, everything you're giving me tells me it's not comparable.
That's your opinion.
Why would you buy a house for $100,000 more if it is comparable? It
I
doesn't make sense.
don't know if it's worth 100,000, but that, in that 18, is that how?
Yeah.
Okay, and you probably got the prettiest view to that, 18 photos, the prettiest thing, it's worth 100,000. It may have been to them. It wasn't to you.
Well, then
There's your reason.
it's not comparable then.
Yeah.
I don't think you understand the concept of mass appraisal. I really don't.